Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about the habit of reviewing your goals. Today, as I'm recording this episode, it's October 21st, 2019. There are less than 75 days left of this year, of this decade. And as you think about this, and as you think about 2020 approaching, and this decade coming to an end, I really started to think about when is the last time I reviewed my goals for this year. You see, back in December and January, December of 2018 and January of 2019, I set goals as I do every year for this entire year. I even invested nearly a 40-hour work week into setting these outcomes. And though I've invested that much time in setting these outcomes, how much time did I invest or did I spend this year reviewing those exact same goals? And I could say that I've spent several hours doing this, but I would be bullshitting you and myself. So if you're listening to this, I know if I'm doing this, setting these long hours, and some of you listening to this may not spend that much time. Some of you may spend more, but if I'm not reviewing this, then I know you're probably not doing the same thing. You're not reviewing your goals. I look at my goals maybe once or twice a quarter just to make sure I'm on track. This is what I normally would do. But what I realized a few weeks ago is it's not enough. As much as I want to say it's simply not enough. Now imagine your goals like a map. And this map has specific directions to take you to a specific place. And you see, if you looked at these directions every quarter, you would be so far off course that it would take you weeks and even months to get back on track, to get back on course. But if you reviewed your map, your goals, your outcomes, whatever you want to call this, daily for 5 to 10 minutes, you would rarely get off track. And so today, and what I really want this episode to be about, is we're going to segue into making this part of a daily routine, a daily habit. See, a few weeks ago, I actually sat down and mapped out the rest of 2019. I also recognize that after doing this, the importance of turning into and reviewing my goals, making this a daily habit, something I could do every single day, part of my morning routine. See, I talk a lot about these habits, many of you have heard called cascade habits. If you go back to some of the first 20 or 30 podcasts, you may hear about these, but cascade habits are habits that actually have a trickle-down effect to many other areas. These cascade habits bleed into the rest of my daily habits, the rest of my life. They actually accelerate the rest of my habits and the rest of results I get. But think about this. Every one of us has goals. We have dreams. We have these desires. We have these big things that we want to pull off. But what often interferes with those is the business of life. We start putting out fires instead of focusing on what we must get done to get us closer to our goals. And think about this. If I'm busy putting out fires, one of the things that I'm not doing is moving closer towards my goals. I'm living and operating in this reactive state, this place that is responding to whatever life is thrown at me. And so if I have a map, imagine if you're driving your car and you have deer jumping over the road. Maybe you get a flat tire. Maybe you get off the wrong exit. Whatever it is, it's taking you off course, and simply putting out fires is like taking you off course from where you actually want to go. The map that you were once following is no longer a map. It's something that you're actually reacting to in your daily life, and it's continuing to pull you off course. And from this reactive mode, this reactive place, it's impossible to stay on track with your map. Your map is just another word for your goals. It's impossible for you to stay on track with your goals if you're constantly reacting to everything getting thrown at you in your day-to-day life. But think about this. If you are reviewing your goals, if I'm reviewing my daily goals, it keeps me on track. It keeps me on track on my map. It keeps me on track for my weekly, my monthly, and quarterly goals. And I do this by simply asking myself daily a few questions. What is my quarterly goal? Let's just use an example of money. If my quarterly goal was to make $100,000, $150,000, I would just simply state, hey, my quarterly goal is $100,000, which means my monthly goal is $33,333. My weekly goal is going to break down into 4 pieces from that, about $8,000 and some odd dollars. And my daily goal breaks down into about $1,000, a little over $1,000 a day. But does my daily goal get me closer or farther away from hitting my weekly goal? If the answer is it gets me farther away, I don't do it. If it gets me closer, then I move ahead with it. But everything I do on a day-to-day basis now comes down to this question. Does my daily goal get me closer or further away from hitting my weekly goal? Because if I don't hit my weekly goal, I'm definitely probably not going to hit my monthly goal. And so every single day, every single week, I get to ask myself these questions. Because when I set this, all I'm looking at is a week-to-week basis, a day-to-day basis, a monthly basis. Because if I don't hit those goals, if I don't stay on the map on those places I'm going, I'm definitely not going to hit that quarterly goal. And if I'm busy putting out fires, I'm definitely not going to be hitting those goals daily, weekly, or monthly. You see, this is the question that most people forget to ask. Does the daily habit that I'm about to do get me closer or further away from hitting my weekly goal? Does this workout that I'm about to do or I'm about to skip get me closer or further away from hitting my weekly goal? Does this date night get me closer or further away from hitting my weekly goal? Does me avoiding making this phone call to this prospect, to this lead, get me closer or further away from hitting my weekly goal? Because here's the thing is most people will tell you, hey, I don't feel like I've tapped into my potential, but guess what? Every single day, you're putting off a habit that is getting you farther away from hitting your goal. You're avoiding the habit instead of actually doing it. And so when you start to communicate in this way, what you're really communicating with is saying, listen, on a day-to-day basis, does this habit that I'm about to do or not do get me closer to where I want to be in this next week? Because here's the reality. You wouldn't skip the workout. You wouldn't skip taking your spouse on date night, and you definitely wouldn't skip calling a prospect if you continued to zone in on where you were going every single morning, every single week. Because here's what happens. My adjustments typically will come either weekly or monthly. Once I know where I'm going, it's very easy to just get back on track. It's very easy to stay on track. And this is one of the places that I see most entrepreneurs, most people mess up. Even inside of years of being in the fitness industry, people would not review where they're at on a day-to-day basis. People would not review where they're at on a quarterly basis or monthly basis or even weekly. And if I just make this a habit, part of my daily routine and my daily habit, chances are I will not get too far off track. And if you didn't notice, the best place to review this, to point this out, is obviously in the mornings. It's where you start your day as a place for you to see, hey, here's my map of where I'm going today. Let's go. Whatever else gets thrown at me, I'm going to figure out how to work through this. Here's another thing with your goals. Keep your goals in an easy to access place. I have mine right over here to the left of me written on a whiteboard. I have them written down in a journal, in a binder, so they're easy to review. Read your goals daily out loud. I can't tell you how powerful it is until you have them memorized. Once they're memorized, then they're at the top of your mind. And if you ever choose to take something on that's greater, or you want to make a decision, just ask yourself the question, does this take me or get me closer to my goals or further away? And the answer becomes yes or no. It's not I don't know. You see, when people give you I don't know, it's because they're not clear on where they're going. Because if you did know, it's either, hey, this is getting me closer or further away. There is no I don't know. And in that place, you will find a very simple answer. But the next time you're stuck on where you're going, you're stuck on I don't know, it's because you're not consistently reviewing your goals. And I want to thank you guys for being on here. And I want to make sure you get this point driven home that you're going to have to review your goals as a daily habit if you want to stay on the map and you want to stay on track with where you're going, especially knowing that 2019 is coming to an end less than 75 days from today, and that you only have that much time left for this year. And then 2020 hits and it starts all over again. And so make this a habit this last 70 some plus days of the year so you can start implementing this not only today, but going into 2020. If you guys are looking to connect further with a group of like-minded people, join myself and so many others in the Habit-Based Lifestyle Secrets group on Facebook, where I'll be dropping daily habits to help you live to your full potential. If you want to be one of our next case studies and begin living this habit-based lifestyle, maybe you have questions, comments, requests, feel free to contact me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.